Next, Coco and Agott continue their magic training inside the atelier. The two of them spend their time practicing different sigils and casting seals. While Coco tries her best, she keeps sighing every time she makes a mistake. The constant noises slowly get on Agott's nerves, so she decides to head outside where it's much quieter. Standing alone, Agott closes her eyes and carefully draws a light spell. Although the spell is still weaker than she wants, it activates successfully, proving that her practice is paying off. Meanwhile, Coco continues practicing by herself. She struggles to draw straight, steady lines and becomes frustrated every time another casting seal comes out crooked. Ever since their trip to Calne was interrupted, she never got the chance to pick a pen that suited her, making every drawing even more difficult. For a moment, Coco starts feeling discouraged. Just then, Qifrey suddenly appears behind her. Without explaining anything, he takes Coco into the kitchen. There, he introduces her to a magical cooking pot that can repeatedly restore its contents to the exact moment they were freshly cooked. Qifrey places several carapace yams on the table and gives Coco a simple challenge. She has to roast one using nothing but magic. At first, Coco struggles to control the fireball spell. She experiments by changing the lengths of different signs inside the casting seal, carefully observing how each small adjustment affects the fire. After several attempts, she finally manages to cook the yam perfectly. Seeing her success, Qifrey smiles and tells Coco about his own childhood. The very first magic he mastered was water magic. Not because he liked it, but because he hated swimming and getting wet. He wanted to finish washing as quickly as possible, so he practiced water magic until he became good at it. Qifrey explains that the easiest way to learn magic is by making it part of everyday life. Life itself is the greatest teacher, especially when something as ordinary as cooking becomes part of your training. Before long, the delicious smell of the roasted yams spreads throughout the atelier. The aroma soon attracts Tesha and Rikhe into the kitchen. Together, everyone begins preparing lunch, and Coco happily uses her magic to help Qifrey finish cooking. Once everything is ready, Coco suggests eating outside together. She even invites Agott to join them, but Agott immediately refuses. She points out that it's pouring rain outside, making a picnic impossible. The others can't help feeling disappointed. Then Qifrey quietly walks outside. To everyone's surprise, a glowing magical barrier surrounds his body, keeping every single raindrop away from him. Thanks to the protective spell, Qifrey stays completely dry despite standing in the middle of the rain. Soon, Coco, Tesha, and Rikhe happily enjoy lunch together with their teacher. As they're eating, the rain suddenly begins to clear, allowing warm sunlight to shine through the clouds. Thinking Agott might finally come outside, Coco runs back toward the atelier to invite her once again. But when she opens the door, the person standing inside isn't Agott. Instead, she finds a dark-haired man with a stern expression staring back at her. Startled, Coco quickly runs behind Qifrey and hides inside his cloak, explaining that she's one of his students. Qifrey nervously greets the visitor. The man's name is Olruggio. Without wasting any time, Olruggio scolds Qifrey for taking on yet another apprentice. When he learns that Coco became involved with forbidden magic, his expression immediately becomes even more serious. Believing she should be handed over to the authorities, Olruggio grabs Coco's wrist and declares that he'll personally take her to the Knights Moralis. He refuses to let the dangerous brimmed caps become involved again. Before Olruggio can leave, Qifrey instantly casts a defensive water spell that blocks his path. He calmly asks his old friend to come inside so they can talk first. Later that evening, as heavy rain continues falling outside, Qifrey formally introduces Olruggio to everyone. He explains that Olruggio serves as the Watchful Eye of the atelier. His duty is to monitor smaller witch settlements and make sure everything remains under control. Olruggio still disagrees with Qifrey's decision to investigate the forbidden picture book himself. According to him, that responsibility belongs to the Knights Moralis, also known as the Order of Moral Spellcasting. They are the guardians responsible for protecting the secrets of magic. However, Qifrey points out one important fact. If the Knights erase Coco's memories because she learned the truth about magic, then they would also have to erase his. Hearing that argument, Olruggio finally gives in. Later that night, after everyone finishes washing up, Coco looks for her little brush buddy so she can dry it off. The tiny creature suddenly darts into Olruggio's room. Coco nervously follows after it and quietly peeks inside. As she searches through the dark room, she suddenly sneezes, immediately revealing her presence. Instead of getting angry, Olruggio simply hands her the now-dry brush buddy. He then activates a fire-casting seal engraved onto one of his rings, using the gentle warmth to dry Coco's wet hair as well. While looking around the room, Coco notices that the floor tiles are softly glowing. The sight instantly reminds her of the magical floor she saw years ago when she first fell in love with magic. Excited, she tells Olruggio about that memory. Olruggio casually replies that it's simply one of his own creations. To him, it's nothing special, but Coco smiles brightly. She tells him that little spells like these are exactly what inspired her to dream about becoming a witch. The following day, the rain continues pouring without stopping. Coco spends the morning studying in the living room while Agott quietly continues practicing her light spell nearby. Ignoring the loud wind rattling the windows, Agott closes her eyes and carefully draws another casting seal. This time, the light she creates is much steadier than before. Just as she's about to practice again, someone suddenly pounds on the front door. A frightened man has come seeking the witch's help. He explains that the heavy rain washed away the bridge crossing the staircase river. A carriage is stranded in the middle of the rushing water, and his young son is still trapped inside. Hearing the emergency, Qifrey immediately prepares to leave. To his surprise, Agott steps forward and asks if she can come with him.